It's time for Rabbi Minkowicz's Weekly Torah Lesson, a place where life's most difficult questions are answered. Here with his spiritual perspective and insight, Rabbi Minkowicz.
Welcome to this week's Torah lesson. This week's Torah portion is Parshas Matot and Massei. The question of the week is, how do you keep Hashem's memory alive? So in this week's Torah portion, Parshas Matot and Massei, which happens to be a double Torah portion, plus it's Shabbos Chazak, because we finished reading the last section on the fourth of the 5 books of Moses, Parshas Matot and Massei, we learn about an interesting story that takes place with the Jewish people. And that is as follows. The Jewish people are getting ready to cross over the Jordan, to go from the Jordan over to the land of Israel, and there were 2 tribes, Shevet Gad and Shevet Reuven, that didn't want to go over it. They said, we have a lot of sheep. We want to stay here on this side of the Jordan. It's much better for our pasture. They come to Moshe Rabbeinu. Moshe Rabbeinu gets upset at them. Moses talks to God about it. A whole conflict breaks out. After the whole back and forth, and you can read it at length, if you're looking for some excitement and drama, you always have everything in the Torah portion. You can read about all the details of it. But after the whole excitement, Moshe Rabbeinu says, great. I'm granting you permission for Shevet Gad and Shevet Reuven to stay in the land of Jordan, providing there were stipulations. They were going to come and they were going to fight for the Jewish people. They were going to go front line. So not to think that, God forbid, they're doing it to get out of not fighting for the Jewish people, and then they were going to be able to receive the inheritance of the other side of the Jordan, where they could pasture sheep and was better for them. But what's interesting is that as Moshe Rabbeinu comes back and he says, great, I'm giving it to you as a gift, all of a sudden, out of the blue, Moshe Rabbeinu says, guess what? Yes, this is for you, Shevet Gad, Shevet Reuven, and half of the tribe of Manasseh. And all the commentaries ask a simple question. How did Manasseh get into this? They never requested it. They weren't part of the whole negotiation, and out of the blue, Moshe Rabbeinu says, guess what? Guess who's going to be there? Not only those 2 tribes that requested it, but also half of the tribe of Manasseh. What happened? Why all of a sudden half of the tribe of Manasseh? So the Rebbe explains a very, very powerful insight, and that's as follows. Here, the whole Jewish people were going over to Israel. Now in Israel, obviously, everyone's there, all the excitement of the community, everyone's together, you have the temples there, and all the tribes are there, and here you have 2 tribes on the other side of the Jordan. Now what can happen is, when you go away, when you leave the fold, so to speak, even though they're connected, but you can forget about the enthusiasm of God, and of Judaism, and the religion, and all the excitement that Judaism has to bring. So Moshe Rabbeinu is concerned. Hey, we might lose these people. So he wanted to implant within them the ability that they won't forget about God and they'll stay connected to God. So he picks specifically half the tribe of Manasseh. Why does he pick half the tribe of Manasseh? Because if you recall, Manasseh is who? And the Torah actually, when it mentions that he's giving them half of the tribe of Manasseh, it says Manasseh the son of Joseph, which doesn't mention that by Reuven and Gad. Why is that? Because if you recall, when Joseph had his 2 children, Manasseh and Ephraim, he said, the reason why I'm naming my children, and he says, Manasseh, I'm naming him, Ki Nishani, because God gave me the gift that I was able to forget all my troubles, and that's how I was able to succeed in Egypt. And Ephraim so I was able to move forward and prosper in the land of Egypt. So you see from here, the Rebbe says that Manasseh comes to the word Nishani, forgetting. In other words, you have the power to forget all the negativity, but you also have a power to make sure not to forget all the beautiful and positive things about life. So the Rebbe explains that's specifically why Moshe Rabbeinu all of a sudden out of the blue told him, guess what? Half of the tribe of Manasseh was going to stay with you on the other side of the Jordan. Why? Because Manasseh has the power that whatever you're going through, wherever you are, you'll never forget who you are and where you're from. So to answer the question, how do we always keep God in our memory alive? To think of the gift that we have as being part of the Jewish people, of the idea of Manasseh, the ability to not forget things that are important to us, and to forget the things which obviously are hurting from our growth and our relationship with God. This week's Torah lesson is in memory of Baruch ben Aryeh Leib and Shlomo Ben Yosef. May their souls be elevated for the Torah that we're studying in their memory. Thanks so much for joining us for our weekly Torah lesson. For more information on Chabad, please see our website.